In the state of Alabama, it's God, family, and football.
365 days a year, you're sitting next to an Alabama fan or an Auburn fan. You might be married. They call it mixed marriage in Alabama. It's between Alabama and Auburn fans. It's by far the best rivalry in all of sports, and unless you've spent time in the state of Alabama, you can't even conceptualize how important it
is. In the South, college football is a 12-month deal. There is no doubt about that. And in the state of Alabama, it's an every second deal.
You know, Auburn's kind of always been on the cusp of greatness, in this state. Everybody talks about Alabama, but back during the Tommy Tuberville days in the early 2000s, Auburn won 6 straight in the Iron Bowl. And then from there, they kind of built on that. Gene Chizik came in with Gus Malzahn as offensive coordinator, and second year, the tenure, they won a national championship. The perception, at least within the fan base, is that success over these last 4 or 5 years has been a result of Gus Malzahn.
With the second pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Greg Robinson, tackle, Auburn.
Greg Robinson came out of nowhere to end up a really high draft pick, and I think a lot of the credit goes to Gus Malzahn for unlocking his potential and also for that Auburn offense to unlocking his potential. They were almost unstoppable down the stretch.
He's in! Touchdown!
Greg Robinson, I think he dominated everybody he faced. I mean, every game I watched, he did something incredible. Usually you're trying to watch where the ball's going or maybe a matchup. I would almost become obsessed with just watching Greg because he was just dominating and eating people up.
I'm a mauler. They say I'm a mauler. I'm real nasty on the field. When you're in between the white lines, it's a legal fight, and you can't get arrested for it or anything like that, so it's just something that I like to have fun with. I'm a hard worker. I'm someone that don't like to lose. I'm the guy that will go on the field and give it my all.
I watched a lot of those games in person. What happened against Missouri? Missouri fans thought they had a good chance to win that SEC title game. Couldn't get to the quarterback. Explosive offensive performance and a really athletic tackle that helped to lead the way for a lot of Trey Mason's big runs.
Trey, it's interesting. He came in underweight. He was a jet sweep guy. No one really knew if he'd ever be an every down back. And he put some weight on, gained some confidence. And that last year here at Auburn was interesting because he was not the starter from day one. He came in and was sharing snaps with Cameron Artis-Payne and another running back by the name of Corey Grant, who was more of a speed sweep guy. So he was sharing snaps 3-4 weeks into the season. But it wasn't until really that LSU game, their first loss, that Gus Malzahn and everybody reevaluated and went, you know what, Trey Mason's the guy.
Trey Mason had as good of a year as any Auburn running back since Bo Jackson when you look at his overall performance. And down the stretch, he was incredible for Gus Malzahn and that offense.
That year, I broke Bo Jackson's record. And that year, I think I rushed for 1,816 yards and 25 touchdowns. It just feels surreal to me that I did that, and that I'll be mentioned in the same sentence and categories as him.
I like Trey from the standpoint that he always found a way to kind of squirt through a hole. I mean, something might not be there, but he just had this uncanny ability to find a small spot and then pierce the defense and pick up 3 yards when maybe a normal running back would pick up 1 or maybe even lose yards. He just had that ability to make something out of nothing. And then, of course, when he got in the open field, no one could catch him.
I thought he had the ultimate ending to his career when he scored a late touchdown against Florida State. I thought it was basically a walk-off. Looking into the sky, you couldn't have had a better situation for a football player.
Mason steps outside right, breaks the daylight. Still going, end zone, touchdown Auburn. Not quite yet out of miracles.
Big run, knocked a linebacker over on his butt, and I thought that's the perfect end to his season and Auburn's season.
Jameis Winston came back down, drove the length of the field, they scored. Otherwise, Auburn fans would remember that Trey Mason play forever.
If that score had held and they won, that Trey Mason run would be one of the top 5 plays in Auburn history. And as a result, Trey Mason would be talked about every day here on campus. But as it is now, everybody just remembers the overall season, the big numbers, and him having the record. But you got to have that very big special moment that wins you a championship. And Auburn's defense kind of robbed them of that late in the BCS National Championship. Well, at Auburn, everybody's going to talk about Cadillac Williams, Rudy Johnson, and of course, Bo Jackson's the ultimate. I think, based off of talking to people and just the production, I mean, Trey Mason's the best running back here since Bo Jackson. What he did here was amazing. Not only did he develop into an all-around back, he developed into one of the best running backs in Auburn and maybe SEC history.
With the 75th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Trey Mason, running back, Auburn.
I made my mind up when I was younger, when I was little, and I always had one plan. I never gave myself a plan B. I said I wanted to be an NFL player, and that was my only plan. I feel like giving the plan B gives you an option to fail at plan A. So I put all my eggs in one basket to give everything I had.